Good morning, everybody. My name is Alvaro Castano. I'm one of the co-chairs at Conexión. In celebration of the Hispanic Heritage Month, which started on September 15th, Conexión is collaborating with 4 Hispanic restaurants in Cincinnati. Our goal is to unveil the richness and depth of the Hispanic cuisine. The fact that we have over 150 Hispanic restaurants in Cincinnati alone speaks for itself. Most of us love to eat tacos. Who didn't have a taco in the city? You have all kinds of flavors and shapes and sizes of tacos. However, tacos are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Hispanic cuisine. Through this video series, we're hoping to show you how amazing this cuisine is while promoting some local Hispanic restaurants. Today we're here at Maize in OTR, and we're here with Angel Batista, the owner of Maize. Angel, how are you?
Doing great, great. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for opening up the door to Cincinnati Bell. Angel also happens to be one of our customers, so we appreciate your business very much.
No, thank you.
Angel, let's talk about Maize for a minute. So, what does the name Maize means? And tell us a little bit about the history of this restaurant, how it came about in Cincinnati.
You know, it's been now almost 4 years. I would say a little bit over 4 years with development of the concept and everything. But you know, with Maize here in the neighborhood, the idea of the name Maize actually comes from a little bit of a tricky aspect of utilizing a name that will mean the same in English and Spanish. It's really easy for you know, the American side or English-speaking, you know, culture to actually pronounce it. The same thing with, you know, maíz in Spanish. That was one of the factors. Second factor was we wanted to work with a gluten-free base. It just happened that maize have been around the Latin American culture for, you know, as we did our research for over, you know, 1,000 years, where, you know, our Indians even in Latin America, Central America, you know, were utilizing maize, you know, to create masa. And that's where you were talking about tacos. You know, in one way it represented tacos in a thinner version. Then in Venezuela, for example, in Colombia, we were dealing with arepas, you know, and the same thing with our cachapas. So that then took us to trying to find an approach where it was going to be easy for our guests to be exposed to something new. Excellent.
So one could then say that Maize is in essence a Venezuelan restaurant?
You know, we are a Latin American restaurant. We happen to be very influenced by Venezuelan culture and also by the Puerto Rican culture, maybe even from Puerto Rico as well. It's something we can't shake. You know, it follows me wherever I go. But it's key that, you know, everybody understands that there's so many influences from food that come from other areas of the world. So we have a European background from the Spaniards that, you know, that came in during colonization, at the same time that we have a very big, you know, strong African background.
First of all, thank you for bringing this type of food to Cincinnati.
You're welcome.
I absolutely love the food at this place. It's fantastic. So if you haven't tried it, please come to Maize. It's unbelievable. Anything you can tell us about the food that you guys will be preparing for us today?
Today we're going to be making a Pabellón Criollo. It is a national dish, as we like to call it, from Venezuela. It was a dish that was, you know, came about from the experience of slaves actually receiving leftovers of food. That's why the dish is supposed to be eaten all together. The colors itself represent, you know, that flag and that culture, you know, mixture that you know, to us is something to be, you know, something to be proud of, something that makes us who we are today, and we celebrate with that dish. So.
That's really amazing to me, thinking about how much culture can, and food through culture can unite us, connect everybody together. So all this talk about food is making me hungry. Are we ready to do some cooking?
I know, let's do it.
Vamos a
I'm
cocinar.
Ready. A cocinar.
All right, so here we are back in the kitchen now. This is the most exciting part of the day for me anyways. Angel, who do we have here today?
We have our chef, Jessica Baston. Jessica's been with us now for a little over 3 years since, you know, our star. She earned her Puerto Rican star, you know, by now. And yeah, it's been, you know, key to ensuring that, you know, our operation actually flows the way that it needs to, you know, through our food. So.
Well, hello, Jessica. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm super excited to be here with you today. I know I'm in good hands. I talked to Angel quite a bit, and he talks about you in a very high level, very high fashion. You're a great chef.
Thank you.
We know that. We happen to have an acquaintance through my daughter, so I'm so excited to know that she knew you, and that's why we're here today as well.
Happy to have you guys.
Thank you. So, what are we cooking today, and what can you tell me about a little bit of the history of this dish? What do you enjoy most about making this dish for us today?
So I'm going to do the Pabellón Criollo, which is Venezuela's national dish. It dates back to maybe the 16th century. They've been doing it for years, but what it really brings together is the different cultures. So it used to use a lot of leftover beans, leftover rice, whatever leftover veggies you have around. Sometimes the tougher cuts of meat are broken down, stewed down. So really it's utilizing what you have around you. So you see it throughout the Caribbean. It kind of translates. So I start my beans with the very traditional red pepper, cilantro, garlic, do it from its basis, as well as the meat. Our carne machada takes about 5 to 6 hours to cook. We do it low and slow. Really break that meat down and bring all the flavors together.
So let's talk a little bit about what are the ingredients that would be part of the Pabellón Criollo that you're making for us today.
So first you start with your white rice. It's just a traditional basic white rice that represents the English settlers that came into Venezuela. And then we work onto the beans. Like I said, it is a low and slow process. I hand dice all of the veggies. You add in the sazon, that garlic, tomato, the different sofrito flavorings, and we cook that. We cook the beans down, and basically turn that what I call a little nice chocolate sauce. When you see that sazon and the tomato mixing together, it really matches perfectly. And then you finish it with the carne machada. Like I said, that's low and braised. We cook it about all day until the flavors hit right and it's just falling apart right off the bone. And then you have your sweet plantains. So you have your ripened plantains, obviously.
So these are the plantains?
Yes, sir. Okay. We have our ripened sweet plantains that we cook off. You get them nice brown and crispy. I really focus heavily on my plating of the dish. So we try and bring an elevated style of plating so that you eat with your eyes as well as your stomach. Start frying these off lightly.
So this in essence will become a side dish for the Pabellón Criollo, is that correct?
Yes, they're always served with the sweet plantains. We do them on top, but you see plantains all throughout our menu, whether it's sweet plantains, the mariquitas, mofongo. We are heavily peeling these plantains for sure.
It sounds great. So this is the beef, Jessica, that has been cooking for how many hours?
Between 4 to 5 hours.
God.
Let it do its thing. Sometimes you find a tougher cut of meat. I use a beef chuck roast. But like I said, you have the carrots, onions, peppers. We really bring those aromatics to life and then just roast it low and slow.
Oh my God, you can see from here how it's just falling apart, and not just that, but how well it smells, probably from the sofrito that has been used as the base.
And then, like I said, to order or for our Pabellón Criollo, I'm going to take a little bit of the sofrito here and add just a little bit more flavor to it.
Oh my God.
Enhance it even more.
So it's flavor heaven what we're talking about here.
Exactly. We're not missing in that here, for sure. So I have my carne machada here that I'm going to just reheat. As it's been braising for hours, we marinate it with our sofrito. That's the base that we use heavily throughout all of our meats, the chicken and the carne. We always have our sofrito marinated within it.
So when we talk about carne mechada, is that carne mixed with some other types of meat, or is it the sofrito mix?
It's the sofrito mix. So I braise it low and slow with the onions and peppers, but then as well, we take our blended sofrito, which is a cooked off marinated peppers and onions. So you get double the flavor, double the sazon, as you call it. So it really hits home. And then I have my beans that I've been stewing over here. And obviously you want to get that chocolatey rich texture right here. The beans leak out and you just have it marinated perfectly together right there.
They look beautiful. So when we talk about a sofrito, can you help me understand, what is that and how is it used?
Yeah. So a sofrito is used in a lot of French cooking. You hear your mirepoix or your base, but you have a lot of heavy aromatics. So you have your onions, your carrots, your garlic, all of those things that accentuate a dish. They bring a lot of flavor. They bring the color to it as well. So a sofrito is just straight aromatic. Some people use tomatoes, some use onions, peppers. It depends on what base you prefer. My base is just straight veggie, so we use the onions, the peppers, the garlic, and then it is implemented into every dish. So like sofrito, I almost as related as the same word as sazon. So when you have that sofrito or that sazon or that flavor, that's what really adds it to it. So I don't hesitate to add it to anything.
That sounds great. So this is the part where all the ingredients, the rice, the beans that have been steaming for hours, the beef also that has been cooking for about 5-6 hours in the sofrito gets assembled into the actual dish, the Pabellón Criollo. Stay tuned.
So we elevate the dish and we make it easy to eat, guys, as well.
So far, we're ready to assemble the dish.
Correct.
We have the rice,
Correct.
right? What's next?
So I first layered my rice into my ring mold. I'm going to set that base, press it down really tight so that it holds everything together. And then I'm going to bring over our stewed beans. Again, this is another item that takes a few hours to cook. Time is always better for it.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't want to lose all of the liquid, but I don't want it to stain my beans. So I'm going to eliminate some of that here. I'm going to layer the beans next on top.
So far it's beans with rice, which is a staple of any Latin American
Yes,
food.
like I said, it translates through all throughout the Caribbean. Maybe some of the recipes might fluctuate, but it's always what you have on hand. And so it used to be called what I've seen as like a leftovers, but it's become so popular that everybody eats it on its own. So then I'm going to add my carne machada on top.
So this again is the carne that has been cooking for 5-6 hours. That after all that cooking with the sofrito is falling off the bone just by looking at it.
Yes,
Okay.
and once we separated that, we take it again and we add some more sofrito, our blended sofrito into it, and then just add a little bit more flavor. And then I always finish it off with our plantains. I place them on top right here. Once your ring mold is set,
Oh wow. Queso fresco.
that
Okay.
always goes on top. And a little greenery to accentuate it. And right there
Voila.
we have our Pabellón Criollo.
So here it is, folks, the Pabellón Criollo at Maize. This is a dish that, as you've learned today, is not something you can reproduce in 30 minutes or 1 hour. So the 180 from fast food, it took Jessica 4 to 5 hours. She was probably up early this morning to make this for us. Fantastic. Thank you, Jessica. This looks amazing.
Thank you.
All right, so here we are. Again, thank you, Angel and Jessica, for having us here today. Today we have the Pabellón Criollo, which is, as I understand it, a very popular Venezuelan dish that takes quite a bit of time to cook. So here is the presentation. Jessica, you can tell us again what's in this beautiful tower in the center of the plate.
Again, it's Venezuela's national dish. So it has our white rice, the stewed black beans, and the carne machada that's been cooking for 4 to 5 hours, as well as the sweet plantain. So what it represents is the multiple different nationalities and colors that are indigenous to Venezuela and that make up the country. So it's a great representation to bring it all together. For
It sure looks like it, and I really love the idea of sweet and savory together with the plantains, the meat, the beans, the rice. It looks like a phenomenal dish. So thank you for having us. Angel, what else do you have to say? What would you like to add?
I certainly want to invite everybody, say thank you, first and foremost, for you guys coming, here today, spending some time with us. I want to say thank you to Cincinnati Bell and make sure that everybody knows they're welcome here and that we would love to, share our concept and our culture and our great food and drinks with them. Great place, obviously, we have a great cocktail menu, very influenced from Caribbean and Latin American background. Just like our food, and then we just added about a month ago now, a good decent selection, about 10 new wines that are coming from Spain. So again, invite everybody to come down, and thank you so much for also all the support. I happen to be a client, a customer of Cincinnati Bell in both of the restaurants, and you guys have been doing a phenomenal job always for us, so I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We love the partnership as well. So let's talk about the wine real quick. You said this is coming now from a fairly young winery in Cincinnati called Key Wines. Is that correct?
Key Wines, wine distributor. Yes.
And they are, particularly they're bringing wines from Spain, and you guys are now collaborating with them to bring those wines.
Yes, it's something that we always wanted to do. And the concept was at the very beginning actually hard to find and hard to to achieve because of the selection in the state. But yeah, they're doing a great, phenomenal job bringing us really, really good wines right now to the area. And yeah, we had to take the opportunity to pair it with our food. So.
That's fantastic. So in this case, for Pabellón Criollo, you guys are recommending a full body red wine.
Yes.
Correct. Well, let's give it a try, right?
Good.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I can do the honors.
Good.
Fantastic. Well,
Salud.
Salud. Muchas gracias.
Thank you so much. Gracias.
Thank you. All right, so this is the moment of the truth for the Pabellón Criollo.
You want to make sure you get a little bit of everything on that bite.
At Maize in OTR. Wow. That beef is unbelievable. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to invite Cincinnati Bell to come over to Maize and try this immediately. Don't wait. Fantastic food. Again, thank you so much for having us here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.